Hello and welcome to day 3 on a very lovely Wednesday afternoon. I actually love today's weather because it started being so sunny and yay, I actually can dry my clothes. So today is really like a new beginning and the past few days I didn't actually come online because I was actually going through some of my emotional stuff as well. What I really love, especially one of my actually private clients extended her appreciation for the fact that I was sharing very deeply with her about the challenges that I was going through and how I overcome them. And that was when I realized that what people are looking for are actually authenticity. They want to be connected to a real human who is a real human being who actually goes through challenges and is very open to sharing the pain, the suffering, and the lessons out of it. Because people can only learn and embody that when they actually see you go down and then up the roller coaster. And that is really what I'm coming forth with regards to my coaching, or rather like I would actually call it mentorship, because when my clients follow me really closely, they actually see firsthand account about how I actually go through emotional challenges ranging from communication, problems with your partner, how you communicate with your child, parenting issues, even though I am not even a parenting coach at all, but there will be challenges that comes up and realize that I need to level up the way I parent my child. And also about money issues, health, upgrade, reset, and basically, all of these challenges are meant to help us to grow. One of the very powerful mindset that I have now, which I didn't have in the past, was that I always saw opportunities, which I always saw as challenges, as a very challenging thing, and I will always be in a very negative zone, always be very stuck, not knowing how I can overcome them. But now with a whole new mindset to see that when there comes breakdown, there will be a breakthrough. I always embrace and stay with the lessons, stay with the pain, and that's what I really want everybody to know. Which is why, back to my coaching or my mentorship, I keep my clients very aligned with the lessons that are going through, the pain that I'm going through, so that they can learn from that as well. Okay, so why hustling didn't and oh yeah, you can check out my stories. She actually asked to extend the package after she worked with me for I think 1 trial month and another 3 months package, looking to extend as well because we're ending in 2 weeks. This is really what I want to share with people, that the moment you start working on your own personal development and unlocking freedom in one aspect of your life, and a lot of them come to me with just time problem. They come to me with time problem, but we end up working on their relationship, their communication method, on how they say no to people with courage, with confidence. We also work on how they react to triggers, how they actually show up when people do nasty things to them, right? Do they try to do something nasty to them back, or they are able to look at it in a very gracious way, which will always bring them to be a much bigger person, and that's when more abundance will come to them, right? And a lot of things are what we actually do, which is why I always talk about my coaching. It is time freedom, helping you to handle your emotions and experiencing freedom in all areas of your life, right? So why hustling didn't work for me? I feel like this is a story that I really wanted to share because it is true. My time productivity, my time efficiency was born and bred out of pain, right? And it was a very painful time because it was very challenging mentally, physically, and emotionally, when I was taking care of my son before he had to go to playgroup and I was working. So with all working moms or working parents, I face mom guilt, I guilt trip myself when I'm at work, I guilt trip myself at home. When I'm at home, I guilt trip myself at work, and you know, the cycle goes on. I didn't know how to recharge myself, and basically had zero way of self-care. And what I actually realized was that it was a great point of exploration for me, because at that point, I realized in order for me to have that parenting style that I wanted, to spend a lot of time with my child, to be very strongly observant about his needs, okay, being there for him, spending time with him, having breakfast with him, I have to change the way I work. I no longer am able to go the hustling mode, which is sitting in front of the desk 8 to 10 hours and working after I put him to nap because it made me so cranky I can't sleep well, or waking up early before he wakes up so that I can do my work. And eventually I realized that it became counterproductive because I wasn't able to function with great mental clarity. So I was spending a lot of time physically in front of the desk, and one of the biggest issues that I faced was physical pain. I had serious headaches because I had lack of rest. I was very stressed and I was thinking about all the problems that can come up. I was my arms were aching because I was literally putting my hand like, and my ergonomics were not right at that point in time. And I always had back pain. So I had to spend a lot of time and money seeing TCM and physiotherapy, which to me, it became like, it's taking up more time instead. Like I'm already very time strapped, it's taking up more time instead. So that was one very strong telling sign that a lot of pain in my body was being stored up. A lot of negative energy was being stored up because I wasn't moving. I was sitting in front of the desk all the time. And another thing that why I realized that it was a point of expiration, because in the past, I used to be able to devour like, stacks of books, self-help books, which actually is a lot of information. It's a lot of knowledge, right? But why I wasn't able to, it's kind of like it's caffeine where you actually have that rush and that enthusiasm for just purely for about 2 weeks before you actually have to consume another book in order to feel very motivated again. And I was like, where is this going? Like, how many books do I have to read? And I cannot spend all my time reading stuff, right? I cannot spend my time all the time watching inspirational stuff. And that was when I also realized that my belief system, the way I think about challenges, the way my mindset is, wasn't supporting the kind of lifestyle that I wanted. I was always thinking about how can I overcome this problem? How can I solve this problem? It was really from a problem by problem kind of mode instead of a long-term view. Meaning to say that if I overcome this challenge, I know how to solve it better the next time round. I wasn't able to come to that point. So why and hustling didn't work for me because it means that I have to take a lot of time, and time is not on my side, and especially any parent or mom or working dad, you will know that you are time strapped, right? And you will know that you would love to have any time that you can free up on your hands to do the things that you love, whether it's personal things or go and enjoy with your family. So I really didn't like the hustling mode, which was something that I have been doing for a whole lot of 20 years of my life, even through studying, I was putting in, and I was like, I was really hardworking. Yeah. So I couldn't run my business, I couldn't run my life the way I used to do. So that actually made me realize that it came to a point of expiration. What worked in the past is no longer working for me right now, and I have to change it, right? Because if it means running my life down, being more mentally exhausted, it's going to continue on for the next 10-15 years. I'm not going to show up as the best person I am. I'm going to be like haggard and tired and complaining and raging all the time. And that's not who I want to be. So that was when I realized that hustling didn't work for me. It required a sacrifice, usually in the form of personal well-being, whether is it in your health, whether is it in your time freedom, or whether it is in your family well-being. There is usually a sacrifice to be made in order for you to get another tangible outcome like results or career success. So I knew that that wasn't what I wanted. I knew what I wanted was everything upgrades together. It doesn't matter to me whether and think of it as like a building. You imagine yourself at a building, and every level actually has a certain result that is attracting, and a certain being that you have. So if you are always hustling, it means that you are always sacrificing something for another. You would see that being mirrored in all aspects of your life, like whether when you are in your work, you are actually sacrificing your own well-being for more results. And you realize that you have to do a lot in order to keep maintaining it the following year and following year. And especially being in the hustler industry, insurance is a very highly sales competitive industry. There's a lot of external pressure by sales target and so on. And I felt like I wanted a much more long-term vision for this career. So if anybody who is in property or insurance, you would actually resonate with me, because most of the time, sometimes we actually don't like how it's being run. We don't like how hustling it is, but because it is done by everybody, we follow it thinking that it's normal. And we force ourselves into it. And that was what I did. Like after every year, when the sales target, the number, the chalkboard, the scoreboard goes down to 0, I have to recycle myself all over again, going for the next goal, right? And usually it's related to a certain achievement, a certain badge, a certain tangible outcome, cash reward, and things like that. And I was like, I'm just sick and tired of running my life according to external pressure. And it was a very brave decision when I decided that I no longer am going to run this. And instead, what I'm opting for, it was that after I realized that hustling was no longer working for me, I actually brought back a lot of redefining rules. I actually brought back redefining rules, such as I no longer run by numbers and pushing through anymore. Meaning to say that if I were to, hey, hello, Chen Fei, haha. If I were to actually call my client, I would actually check in my energy, like am I high energy, which usually I am, and I usually want to be very detached to whether they buy or not, because I want to come from a space of service. I want them to feel at ease with me and safe with me, that I'm not here looking for your next deal, because it doesn't, like, I have invested so much in myself that whatever amount you decide to put in or not, it doesn't matter to me. I'm offering a service to you by providing this financial solution. And I feel that that is the kind of mindset that a lot of people, if they want to have easy, effortless, and enjoyable sales career, they have to change the way they sell. You are no longer selling people because you need to hit your target, but you are really coming from that space and having that detached feeling from the result. Whether they buy or not, it doesn't mean anything about you. And it took me really long to uncover all of that, to actually detach away from all the meaning, to actually fix the mindset before the action. Whereas in the past, I would just be calling people non-stop for the next 3 hours, not caring whether people not caring or numbing myself to the rejection feeling. But now I fix the mindset before the action, and sometimes I just call less than 10 people, which is very time efficient in my day's work, because usually I always make it a point that I would love to cook for my child. I would love to prepare homemade meals as much as I can, and I would love to pick him up from the childcare as well. So it's actually fixing the mindset before the action, rather than pushing through with grinding action senselessly. So in the end, what I realized was that I uncovered a lot of easy, effortless, and enjoyable sales. I love to speak to my insurance clients. I love to, like, oh my God, do you know that there is the next product coming up, and I feel like it will benefit you. Like, I really come from that space, and I share so much with my clients that they love it when I call. They're like, hey, how are you? And like, we talk like we are old friends, because truly, like, I have been in a business for about 8 to 9. This year will be my 9th year, and they speak to me with such I don't have to speak to you very often, but like whenever you call, I feel I'm talking to an old friend. Actually, that's what a lot of friends tell me. And this is how you actually attract clients instead of pushing for the client. So after I actually discovered this way of but of course, behind the scenes, I had to fix a lot about my money mindset, that money doesn't just come from insurance clients or coaching clients. Money can come from everywhere. And the more we allow ourselves to bask in possibilities and abundance, the more that's when we open the door for these things to flow in. A lot of people always say that if I need more money, I have to work in my insurance. If I need more money, I have to find them. But no, it shouldn't even be that way. So a lot of things about why hustling just didn't work for me was because I was very tired, and I felt it really wasn't supporting the kind of lifestyle that I wanted for my family life. So at the end of it all, this was why I decided to actually come up with my own coaching my own coaching service, because I know that if I'm one person who struggles with so much time and energy issues, I know that whatever that I learn is going to help the next person who's also struggling with time, who's also struggling to show up in her best self, who's also struggling that she wants to upgrade other aspects of her life, whether is it, the way she communicates with the partner, or like, why is this method not working, right? There is a certain method that is simply not working because you know that whatever that it always bounce back. You always go back to the same outcome of like tension of or whatever result or whatever change that you're trying to make is always temporary. And for me, I'm very happy to be in this space, because when I actually upgrade, in fact, like I think in January, I spent 2 weeks being sick. I wasn't even hustling at all. I still receive money from my insurance clients, and also make a couple of sales here and there, all while not being fully present in my insurance business. And I was also upgrading my health, upgrading my communication with my partner, upgrading my parenting method, because my son is going into a very independent, very opinionated stage. And I wanted to work together with him on his behavior rather than working against and struggling for that power dynamics. And so I was upgrading all of these, my whole mindset. And I know that this month is gonna be a really big month for me. I have had this feeling before, and it created massive results. I had clients signing up for 9K USD package. I had a client receiving about 17K revenue as well. So I really know, and I have a great feeling that February will be the month that my sales, my money, and a big transformation is gonna come in. So this is why that when you have that trust, when you have that belief, you don't need action to replace it anymore. You don't need pushing to replace, because that trusting, that knowing is going to call in the results that you desire. The trusting and the knowing is that confidence from within. Like, you don't need physical proof to show that it's here, but you already know it's gonna happen, and true enough, it will manifest after that. Okay, so tomorrow, day 4, I am coming up very transparently about also the number one mistake that many people make and my clients make as well. Okay, this is the auto mechanism that people always bounce back to the moment that they feel negative. This is the first thing that they will always do, and it was what caused me to actually have all that pushing, that hustling. And if I knew this any earlier, but of course not saying that right now whatever I learned is too late. If I knew it any earlier, I think I would have created even more massive results than what I have today. All right, so see you for day 4 tomorrow.